6 months ago, I had a serious problem with English. I could understand everything: movies, podcasts, conversations, books. I understood it all perfectly. But when someone asked me a question, I froze. My mouth wouldn't work. The words were stuck in my head. And the worst part, I knew what I wanted to say. The thoughts were there, crystal clear in my mind. But between my brain and my mouth, there was this massive barrier. And that barrier was translation. Every single time I tried to speak, my brain would do this: hear English, translate to my native language, understand, think of a response in my native language, translate back to English, and finally speak. 6 steps. No wonder I was exhausted. By the time I finished all this translating, the conversation had moved on. People were already talking about something else. I felt so frustrated, so embarrassed. Sometimes I would just stay silent because it was easier than struggling to get the words out. I remember one specific moment that made me realize I needed to change. I was at a coffee shop, and the barista asked me a simple question. "What size would you like?" Such a simple question, but I stood there, frozen, translating in my head. Size, what size, small, medium, large, how do I say? And there was a line of people behind me, waiting. I felt so stupid. That day, I decided, enough is enough. I need to fix this. I need to stop translating and start thinking directly in English. But I had no idea how to do that. I mean, I'd been translating my whole life. How do you just stop? So I started researching. I watched videos, read articles, tried different methods, and slowly, over the next 6 months, I trained my brain to think in English naturally without translation. And today, I'm going to share exactly how I did it. Because if I can do this, trust me, you can too. Understanding why I was translating. Before I could fix the problem, I needed to understand why it was happening in the first place. And here's what I discovered. I had trained my brain wrong from the very beginning. When I first started learning English in school, how did they teach me? They gave me a word in English and then the translation in my language. Apple equals my language word. Run equals my language word. Every single word was connected to my native language first, then to English. So my brain learned English word, my language, understanding. That's the pathway my brain built. And after years of learning this way, this pathway became automatic. It became the default route my brain took every single time. And it gets worse. When I consumed English content, movies, shows, podcasts, I always used subtitles in my native language. So I was actually reinforcing that translation habit. My ears would hear English, my eyes would read my native language, and my brain would think, oh, this is how I understand English, through translation. I was accidentally training my brain to depend on translation. No wonder I couldn't stop doing it. So the first step in my transformation was accepting this truth. I can't stop translating overnight. My brain has spent years building this translation pathway. I need to build a new pathway, a direct pathway from English to understanding without the translation middleman. And building new neural pathways, that takes time, repetition, and the right practice methods. Let me show you exactly what I did. Naming objects directly. I started with the simplest possible exercise, naming objects around me in English without translating. This sounds so basic, right? But it was actually hard at first. I would look at my desk and think desk, but then my brain would automatically think of the word in my language too. It was like a reflex I couldn't control. But I forced myself to break that reflex. Every morning, I would spend 5 minutes just looking around my room and naming everything I saw: bed, pillow, window, door, lamp, chair, phone, cup. Just simple nouns, directly in English, no translation allowed. And here's the key. When I caught myself translated, I would stop, take a breath, and try again. Look at the object, think the English word. No translation, just object to English word. Direct connection. The first week was frustrating. My brain kept wanting to translate. It felt unnatural, forced, like I was fighting against my own mind. But I kept practicing, 5 minutes every morning without fail. And then something amazing happened. By week 2, some words started coming automatically in English first. I would see my phone and think phone before I thought of my native language word. It was working. My brain was building that direct pathway. I got so excited by this progress that I expanded the practice. Throughout my day, whenever I saw something, I would name it in English in my mind. Walking down the street, car, tree, sky, building, person, dog. Making breakfast, coffee, bread, butter, knife, plate. It became a game, and the more I did it, the easier it got. By the end of week 2, thinking the English word first felt natural for common objects. That translation reflex was getting weaker. This simple exercise taught me something powerful. My brain is flexible. It can change. It can build new pathways. I just need to practice consistently. Describing actions in real time. Once I could name objects naturally, I moved to stage 2, describing my actions in real time in English. This means I became the narrator of my own life. Everything I did, I described in English as I was doing it. I'm waking up, I'm stretching, I'm getting out of bed, I'm walking to the bathroom, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm looking in the mirror. At first, this felt so weird. I felt like I was in a movie narrating my own scenes. But I kept doing it, especially during my morning routine because that was the easiest time to practice consistently. And here's why this exercise is so powerful. When you're describing actions in real time, you don't have time to translate. The action is happening now, so your brain is forced to find the English words immediately. There's no delay, no time for translation. It's English or nothing. I would do this silently in my mind, so people didn't think I was crazy. I'm making coffee. I'm pouring water. I'm waiting for the coffee to brew. I'm adding sugar. I'm stirring it. I'm tasting it. It's hot. It's good. The beauty of this practice is that you can do it anywhere, anytime, and nobody knows you're practicing. I would do it while cooking. I'm cutting vegetables. I'm turning on the stove. I'm adding oil. The pan is hot. While walking, I'm walking down the street. I'm seeing cars. I'm hearing birds. I'm feeling the sun. After practicing this for 3 weeks, something incredible happened. My brain started automatically thinking in English during real-time actions. I didn't have to force it anymore. I would start cooking, and my brain would naturally narrate, I'm making dinner. No translation, just direct English thinking. This was a huge breakthrough. My brain was starting to default to English for real-time experiences. Expressing feelings and thoughts. Stage 3 was more challenging. Expressing my feelings and thoughts directly in English without translating. This is harder because feelings and thoughts are abstract. They're not physical objects I can see or actions I can watch myself doing. They're internal experiences. And every language expresses emotions differently, so translating feelings never quite works right. But I pushed myself to do it anyway. Whenever I felt something, I would name it in English. I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm happy, I'm stressed, I'm excited, I'm nervous. Simple emotion words directly in English. Then I would expand on the feeling. I'm tired, I didn't sleep well last night, I need coffee. Or I'm happy, the weather is beautiful today, I feel good. At first, this felt forced and unnatural. Expressing my inner world in English, not my native language, felt like strange, like I was putting on a costume. But I kept practicing. I made a rule for myself. Every time I felt a strong emotion, I had to name it and describe it in English in my mind. Frustrated with traffic? I'm frustrated. There's too much traffic. I'm going to be late. Excited about weekend plans? I'm so excited. I'm going to visit my friend. It's going to be fun. After doing this for about a month, something amazing started happening. Sometimes my thoughts would appear in English first, before my native language. I would feel happy and think, I'm happy, before I thought of the word in my language. When that happened the first time, I almost cried, because that meant my brain was actually starting to think in English naturally, not translating, not forcing, just thinking in English. That was the moment I realized this is working. I'm actually rewiring my brain. Stage 4 is where things got really interesting. I started having full conversations with myself in English, in my mind. I know this sounds a bit crazy, talking to yourself, but everyone has internal dialogue anyway. We all ask ourselves questions, make decisions, think through problems. I just started doing all of that in English instead of my native language. For example, deciding what to eat for lunch. What should I have for lunch? Maybe pasta? No, I had pasta yesterday. How about a sandwich? Yeah, that sounds good. What kind? Chicken or tuna? I think chicken. Okay, chicken sandwich it is. Or planning my day. What do I need to do today? I need to finish my work project. I should also go to the gym. Oh, and I need to call my mom. When should I do each thing? Work first, then gym, then call mom. Yes, that's a good plan. These internal conversations were so powerful because they're natural and spontaneous. I couldn't plan them or prepare them. My brain just had to think in English in real time, responding to my own questions, making decisions, solving problems. And here's what's beautiful. When you're having a conversation with yourself, there's no pressure. Nobody can hear you. Nobody will judge your mistakes. You can think freely, make all the errors you want, and just practice thinking in English naturally. I did this constantly. While grocery shopping, do I need milk? Yes, I think so. How much milk is left at home? Maybe half a carton? I should buy more. Regular milk or almond milk? Regular is fine. While getting dressed, what should I wear today? It's cold outside. I need a warm jacket. The blue one or the black one? The black one looks better. Okay, black jacket it is. After doing this for several weeks, my internal voice started becoming English by default. I would wake up and my first thought would be in English. What time is it? Did I sleep well? What do I need to do today? All in English, automatically, no translation. This was the breakthrough I'd been waiting for. English was becoming my thinking language. Step 4, where things got really interesting, is starting to have conversations with myself in English, in my mind. Same thing. I would decide what to eat, what to plan for the day. It was all in English. And these were so powerful because they're natural and spontaneous. I can't plan or prepare. My brain has to think in English in real time. And the beautiful thing about those internal conversations is there's no pressure. Nobody can hear you. Nobody will judge your mistakes. You can think freely, make all the errors you want, and just practice thinking in English naturally. I did this constantly. While grocery shopping, do I need milk? Yes, I think so. How much milk is left at home? Maybe half a carton? I should buy more. Regular milk or almond milk? Regular is fine. While getting dressed, what should I wear today? It's cold outside, I need a warm jacket. The blue one or the black one? The black one looks better. Okay, black jacket. After doing this for a few weeks, my internal voice started becoming English by default. And this was the breakthrough I was waiting for. English was becoming my thinking language. So I used several accelerators that helped speed up the process of thinking in English. Accelerator number 1 was to change everything to English. My phone to English, social media apps to English, my computer to English, even my grocery shopping list to English. At first, it was confusing, but that's the point. I was forcing my brain to operate in English constantly, even for simple everyday tasks. Accelerator number 2 was to stop using subtitles in my native language. This was hard. I loved watching shows with subtitles because I could understand everything perfectly. But I realized those subtitles were making me dependent on translation. So I switched to English subtitles only. Yes, I missed some words at first. Yes, it was harder, but my brain started learning to understand English through English, not through translation. And after a few weeks, I could follow shows pretty well with just English subtitles. Accelerator number 3 was learning phrases instead of individual words. Before, when I learned vocabulary, I would memorize single words like excited equals my language. But now I learned complete phrases like, I'm so excited about this. I can't wait to see you. This is going to be amazing. Learning phrases meant they would come out naturally when I needed them. I didn't have to construct sentences from individual words. I just recalled the whole phrase. This made thinking in English so much faster. Accelerator number 4 was every time I caught myself translating, I would stop immediately and try again. I became very aware of my translation habit. The moment I noticed my brain switching to my native language, I would stop and think, no, try that in English directly. At first, I caught myself translating dozens of times per day, but I never got frustrated. Each time I caught it, I celebrated, like, great, I noticed it. Now let me try in English. And slowly, over weeks, I caught myself translating less and less because I was doing it less and less. Now, I need to be honest with you. This journey wasn't easy. I faced several challenges along the way. Challenge number 1, I felt really frustrated in the beginning. Some days, I would practice for hours and still find myself translating. I would think, why isn't this working? Am I doing something wrong? Maybe I'm just bad at this. But I reminded myself, I'm rewiring my brain. That takes time. I didn't become fluent in my native language overnight. That took years. So, of course, learning to think in a new language will take time too. I just needed to be patient and consistent. Challenge number 2, I didn't have enough vocabulary to express everything I wanted to think. Sometimes I would want to think a complex thought in English, but I didn't know the words. This was so frustrating, but I learned to simplify. If I didn't know how to say, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I would think something simpler, like, I have too much work. I feel stressed. Simple English is still English. And as I practiced, I naturally learned more words and could express more complex thoughts. Challenge number 3, some days I would forget to practice. I would get busy with work or life and suddenly realize, oh no, I didn't practice thinking in English today, and I would feel guilty. But I learned to be kind to myself. Missing one day wasn't failure. What mattered was getting back to it the next day. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means showing up most days and doing your best. Challenge number 4, sometimes I felt silly. Talking to myself in English, narrating my actions like I'm in a movie, it felt weird, especially at first. But I reminded myself, nobody can hear my thoughts. Nobody knows I'm practicing. And even if it feels silly, it's working. My brain is changing. So I kept doing it even when it felt awkward. The biggest lesson I learned through these challenges: progress isn't linear. Some days I felt like I was thinking in English naturally. Other days I was translating constantly. But overall, looking at weeks and months, I was definitely improving. And that's what mattered. I'll never forget the moment when I realized it was working. I was 3 months into my practice, and I was at a cafe ordering coffee. The barista asked me, "What would you like today?" And without thinking, without hesitating, without translating, I said, "I'll have a cappuccino, please, medium size, with an extra shot of espresso." The words just came out, naturally, smoothly, in English, no translation. And then I realized I didn't translate that. I heard the question in English, understood it in English, thought my answer in English, and spoke in English. Direct, no middleman. I was so shocked that I just stood there, smiling like an idiot. The barista probably thought I was crazy, but I didn't care because I had just experienced what I'd been working toward for 3 months: natural, direct English thinking. After that day, it started happening more and more. Simple conversations would flow without translation. I would watch a video and understand directly, no translation. I would have a thought and it would appear in English first. It wasn't perfect. I still translated sometimes, especially for complex topics or when I was tired, but the difference was huge. English was becoming a natural part of my mind, not something foreign I had to work to access. By month 4, I noticed I was having full days where I thought mostly in English. I would wake up thinking in English. I would go through my day thinking in English. I would even have dreams in English. And the most amazing part, speaking became so much easier because I was already thinking in English. Speaking was just saying out loud what was already in my head. No more delay, no more freezing. The words were right there, ready to come out. Scene 10, my current state. So here I am, 6 months later, and I want to be completely honest with you about where I am now. Am I perfect? No. Do I still make mistakes? All the time. Do I still translate sometimes, especially when I'm tired or talking about complex topics? Yes, occasionally. But here's what's different. English doesn't feel foreign anymore. It doesn't feel like this difficult thing I have to struggle with. It feels natural. It feels like a part of me. When I speak English now, the words flow. I don't freeze up. I don't panic. I can express my thoughts clearly and naturally. Sure, I might not use fancy vocabulary or perfect grammar, but I can communicate, and that's what matters. When I listen to English content, podcasts, videos, conversations, I understand directly. I don't realize I'm listening to English until I stop and think about it. It just feels like understanding, like listening to my native language. And here's the most amazing thing. I sometimes struggle to find words in my native language now. I'll be talking to my family in my language, and I'll think of the English word first and have to translate to my language. It's like my languages have switched roles. This doesn't mean I'm losing my native language. I'm not. It just means English has become equally natural in my brain. I'm truly bilingual in my thinking now. And the confidence this has given me? Incredible. I'm no longer afraid to speak English. I join English conversations freely. I watch English content without subtitles. I even think about taking a job that requires English, something I never would have considered 6 months ago. All of this from 6 months of consistent practice, 6 months of training my brain to think in English, 6 months of breaking the translation habit. Scene 11. What I would do differently. Looking back at my journey, there are a few things I would do differently if I could start over. First, I would start practicing speaking out loud sooner. I spent the first 2 months only practicing in my mind, thinking in English internally, but I should have been speaking out loud too, even just to myself. Because thinking and speaking use slightly different skills. When you speak out loud, you practice pronunciation, mouth movements, breath control. These things matter. So if I could do it again, I would combine internal thinking practice with external speaking practice from day one. Second, I would find a speaking partner earlier. I waited almost 3 months before I started having actual conversations with other people. I was too scared. But looking back, having conversations earlier would have accelerated my progress even more. Yes, I would have made more mistakes. Yes, it would have been uncomfortable, but every conversation would have been valuable practice. So my advice to you, don't wait until you feel ready. Start speaking with others as soon as possible, even if it's scary. Third, I would be kinder to myself on difficult days. I was so hard on myself whenever I struggled. If I translated a lot one day, I would feel like I was failing. But now I understand, learning a language isn't linear. Some days are better than others, and that's completely normal. So if you're starting this journey, please be patient with yourself. Celebrate small victories. Don't beat yourself up on hard days. Just keep practicing consistently and trust the process. Scene 12. My advice to you. If you're watching this video, you're probably where I was 6 months ago. You understand English well, but you translate everything in your head. You want to think in English naturally, but you don't know how. Here's my advice to you from someone who's been exactly where you are. First, start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Right after this video ends, spend 5 minutes naming objects around you in English. That's it. Just 5 minutes. That's how you begin. Second, be consistent. Practice a little bit every day, even just 5 or 10 minutes. Consistency beats intensity. It's better to practice 10 minutes daily than to practice 2 hours once a week. Third, use all 4 stages I taught you: naming objects, describing actions, expressing feelings, and internal conversations. Start with stage 1 and gradually add the others. Build the habit layer by layer. Fourth, be patient. This won't happen overnight. It took me about 3 months to notice a real breakthrough. Give yourself at least 3 months of consistent practice before you judge whether it's working. Fifth, don't be afraid to make mistakes. In your mind, nobody can hear you, so make all the mistakes you want. That's how you learn. Think of mistakes as data, not as failures. Sixth, immerse yourself in English. Change your phone to English. Watch content in English. Think in English as much as possible. The more English surrounds you, the faster your brain will adapt. And finally, believe in yourself. Your brain is incredibly powerful. It learned your first language without any formal training, without any textbooks, without any classes. It can learn to think in English too. You just need to give it the right practice. Scene 13. The invitation. I want to invite you to start this journey with me. I'm not a teacher. I'm not an expert. I'm just someone who struggled with the same problem you have, and I found a way to fix it. And if I can do this, you absolutely can too. Maybe you'll be faster than me. Maybe you'll have your breakthrough in 2 months instead of 3. Or maybe it'll take you 4 months. That's okay too. Everyone's journey is different. The important thing is that you start today, right now. After this video ends, I challenge you to do one thing. Stand up, look around you, and name 10 objects in English out loud. Don't translate, just name them directly. Chair, table, window, door, phone, cup, book, pen, lamp, picture. That's it. That's your first practice session. And then tomorrow, do it again. And the day after. Build the habit. Train your brain. Be consistent. And I promise you, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, you're going to look back at today and think, wow, I can't believe how much I've changed. Thinking in English feels so natural now. I believe in you because I was you. And if I can transform my brain in 6 months, so can you. Scene 14. Closing and call to action. Thank you so much for watching my story. I hope it inspired you and showed you that thinking in English naturally is absolutely possible. If this video helped you, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button for daily English practice. I'll be sharing more of my English learning journey, tips, and methods that actually work. And smash that like button. It really helps more people discover this video and start their own journey to thinking in English. Here's what I want you to do right now. First, comment below, I will train my brain to think in English. Make that commitment public. When you write it down, you're more likely to actually do it. Second, share this video with anyone who translates in their head and wants to think in English naturally. They need to see this. They need to know it's possible. Third, start practicing today, right now. Don't wait. 5 minutes of naming objects around you, that's your homework. And if you want to practice speaking with other learners who are on the same journey, I've created a free community group. The link is in the description below. Join us. Practice with people who understand exactly what you're going through. Remember, 6 months ago, I couldn't speak without translating. Today, I think in English naturally. That transformation is possible for you too. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Start small, practice daily, and trust the process. Your brain is ready to change. You just need to give it the right practice. Thank you for watching. Now go practice. Your future English thinking self is waiting. See you in the next video.